It was an unusually warm evening in late autumn when David found himself in a situation that shattered everything he thought he understood about love, loyalty, and the blurry line between right and wrong. He had been married to Rachel for 15 years, their relationship once brimming with passion and connection, but over time, it had become distant. The laughter that used to fill their home faded, dinners together became rare, and moments of genuine intimacy dwindled into mere obligations. Rachel had noticed this shift, but instead of addressing it, they both retreated into their own worlds, burying their emotions beneath work and responsibilities. Then there was Emily, their daughter, now 15. A blend of Rachel's sharp intellect and David's relaxed charm, Emily had always been the bridge between them, the one thing they both deeply cared for. Yet recently, Emily herself had become more distant. She was growing up, searching for her own identity, and as she did, she pulled away from her parents. The once lively home was now filled with awkward silences, and attempts at conversation felt half-hearted at best. David never intended for things to unravel this way. He hadn't planned for his marriage to crumble, but when the affair began, it was a slow, almost imperceptible slide into something he couldn't control. It all started with Sarah, a colleague at work. She embodied everything Rachel wasn't anymore: spontaneous, full of life, and eager to listen. Their conversations began casually over lunch breaks, talking about work, life, and small personal details. But what started as innocent exchanges quickly morphed into late-night phone calls, flirtations, and an emotional connection that David hadn't realized was deepening with each passing day. Sarah wasn't just an affair, she was someone who listened when David felt invisible at home, someone who didn't judge him for his shortcomings, and someone who made him feel seen again. The first kiss between them was a mistake, David told himself. But by the second time, he didn't want to stop. He felt alive again, something he hadn't experienced in years. It was a reckless affair, filled with moments of passion, but it was also laced with guilt. David never told Rachel about it, and he wasn't sure if he ever would. He wanted to hold on to both his family and this new relationship that made him feel wanted, but he knew it wasn't sustainable. The lies began to eat at him, the guilt gnawing at his conscience every time he looked at his wife or daughter. The turning point came one night after a late meeting when his mind was filled with thoughts of Sarah. Rachel was in the kitchen, preparing dinner, but she wasn't the woman he remembered. She looked weary, her eyes hollow, her smile forced. He had noticed the change before but had never truly acknowledged it. "David, can we talk?" Rachel's voice was quiet, her back turned as she chopped vegetables. Her words hit David like a punch to the gut. He knew where this conversation was headed, but he wasn't ready for it, not yet. "I know something's off," Rachel continued, her voice trembling slightly. "I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like you're slipping away. You're not here with me anymore, not emotionally, and I don't know how to fix it." David opened his mouth to speak, but the words didn't come. His heart raced in his chest, the truth hanging in the air like an approaching storm. He knew this was the moment everything could change, the moment when the lies could be exposed and everything he had built could come crashing down. But just as he was about to respond, a voice interrupted. "Hurry before they catch us, Dad." It was Emily. She had entered the kitchen, her eyes wide with confusion. She must have overheard their conversation, though David wasn't sure how much she understood. Her innocent words, spoken in a hushed whisper, carried an unexpected weight. Rachel's expression shifted, her concern turning into something darker, something David had never seen before. She looked at Emily, then back at David, and in that instant, everything shifted. The lie was no longer just his. It was a family secret, unraveling in the most painful way. "Emily, sweetheart, what did you mean by that?" Rachel asked, her voice shaking. David's heart sank. He looked at Emily, the girl who had always been the bright spot in his life, and an overwhelming wave of guilt crashed over him. This wasn't just about him anymore. It wasn't just about his failing marriage or his infidelity. It was about the impact of his actions on the one person who had always held everything together. Emily's face flushed with embarrassment, but there was a flicker of anger in her eyes. I saw you, Dad," she whispered. "I saw you with Sarah." I didn't mean to, but I saw you. You were holding hands. Rachel's face twisted in disbelief, and David's stomach churned. It was over. The truth had finally been revealed, not through a confrontation, but through the eyes of a daughter who had unknowingly uncovered the secrets her father had been hiding. The aftermath was chaotic. Rachel was devastated, and Emily, caught between her parents, felt betrayed by the man she had once loved most in the world. She was angry, confused, hurt, and above all, she felt lost. David didn't know how to fix this. The emotional damage had already been done. In the weeks that followed, he tried to repair the broken pieces of his life, but it was difficult. Rachel wasn't sure if she could ever forgive him, and Emily, too young to fully understand adult relationships, was angry and heartbroken. The family dynamic had shifted irreparably, and through it all Sarah, the other woman, became yet another layer of guilt and shame that David would carry for the rest of his life. He could no longer keep the two lives separate, and the emotional toll it took on Rachel, Emily, and himself was something he would never forget. David learned the hard way that infidelity wasn't just about breaking the rules of marriage. It was about breaking trust, creating rifts, and turning a once happy family into a battleground. In the end, it wasn't just the affair that destroyed him. It was the emotional devastation it caused the people he loved most.